It is a simple topic, but at the same time, it is deep. It's based on yoga wisdom. So we had some practical yoga, and now we'll go a little bit deeper into the yoga wisdom. And essentially, it is about the self. It's about us. It's not about anything outside of ourselves. It's all about us. And in here, let me ask you a question. If someone asks you, who are you? What are the kind of response that we give? Or what about our identity? What can we think about our identity? So let's try to brainstorm. If you ask, who am I, who are you? So what are the kinds of labels that put for ourselves and others? Okay, let's fill this board. Yes.
I suppose like surface level things like your occupation.
Occupation. So yeah, good. So to start with occupation, and we do indeed identify with the occupation, isn't it? To some degree. Especially in the uni, especially when we are going to graduate, then we need to think which direction that we need to go, isn't it? I don't think I did. It will be easier without. So that is definitely one thing, occupation. Then anything more?
Our political views.
Our political alliance, political views, right, left, middle, far right, far left. So definitely part of our political views. Indeed, this can actually create friends and enemies, isn't it? Even though it can look very neutral, it's my view, but it can create friends and enemies, and it can actually pull us apart or bring people together. So very good one, political views. Anything more?
Our names.
Names, yeah, isn't it? That's what we tell all the time, right? Who am I? We do completely identify with our names. Maybe our Insta account as well, right? It's not just our name, even our Insta. We definitely get identified with our Insta, and sometimes if you don't post something, then we feel we're missing out. It's like, I remember we having a gathering and like this, and one boy was feeling very bad, very awful. I asked him what happened, because we had a very beautiful plate of meal, lunch, and he already ate, and he said, I forgot to take the photo and put it on Insta. So he was feeling so awful, and I didn't do that. So it is an extension of the identity, right? The name even means anything more that's connected to our identity. You think we can fill up the board?
Our passions, hobbies, our
Exactly, our passions and hobbies. Passions, hobbies, definitely. Having some fun, isn't it? So definitely we need to think about it. Anything more? Yeah, true. Oh, you missed?
Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah, alright, we're discussing about what's attributing to our identity. So we have name, our political views, occupation.
Where we're from.
Where we're from, yeah. Origin, yeah, origin. In terms of place, country, whatever. Anything more? I will add one thing, gender, right? It can be, I think we do identify with more.
Maybe age.
Age group, actually, yeah, that's very good, We need similar age group, for example. Otherwise, we may feel out of place and at the wrong place. Right? So, the age and the age group, the age bracket we are in, we indeed identify with those. Yes. More?
Personalities?
Personalities, yeah. Personality type. Personality, yeah, definitely. Possessions. Oh, okay.
We sometimes identify with what we have.
Or what we have. That's right, yeah. Isn't it? Yeah, it's true. Possessions. What we have. He has got an expensive car. Right? Must be a happy person. That's the kind of thing that can come to our mind. So, possessions. And position. Right? Sometimes possessions and positions. So, position that we have, and we do identify, sometimes we don't want to let go, even though sometimes it is giving us suffering, it is giving us anxiety. Some people out there, right, may have big positions and they don't want to give up the positions because they feel they're losing it, even though it's giving a lot of stress and anxieties. So, position, we do identify more. We want to look inside a little bit more towards himself.
Our values.
Our values, yeah, it's a bit more interesting values. We get connected if there are matching similar values.
Religion?
Religion. Or it can create groups, it can create divides, right? Anything more? Yes, favorite soccer team. Yeah, it can even come in passions and hobbies. So yes, definitely it's a good list, right? We do identify with, and even our the financial status in the society. Sometimes that can also be a negative status. So we wrote a lot about our identifications. Now let's go a little more deeper. Of these, who are we really? If you really think about ourselves, do we need to go a bit more deeper? Or we can do an exercise to make it simpler. Is it all fixed, or can we change any of this? Shall we go through this list? Occupation. So we do identify with our occupation, but can we change it? Yes, you can. So it's not something which is permanent, right? Yes, it can be part of the identity, but it is not necessarily the permanent part of the identity, right? So just sliding it off. It's not permanent in that sense. We can identify, but we can change, and at one point there may not be any occupation in certain stages in our life, right? How about political views? Probably it gets changed all the time. How about the name? Can we change the name? Yes, we can. This I didn't say. We can. Passions and hobbies. Can we change? Yes, invariably it does happen. Right? Origin, place. Can we change? Yeah, in one sense, no. But the identification, very happily, some people really say, no, I'm from this country, but I really don't want to go there. I don't want to be known by this country. So they start a new identity, a new origin elsewhere. Gender, yes. Age, we don't need to do anything to change the age. It's already changing, right? You can just witness change every moment, every month, every year. So, yeah, it's also changing. Personality, can you change? Yes. And people do work on themselves, right? I have this kind of view, this kind of habit, this kind of this kind of art. Then I really want to change it. To work hard on it. May not be very, very easy, but still possible. Possessions. Today you have, tomorrow no. It's very easy to lose it. Any possession, it's not permanent. It just comes and goes, isn't it? How about status and position? People want to hold on to it. We see it sometimes in politics, right? They get to a position and they want to hold on to it as long as they can, and eventually everyone will be kicked out. But still, as long as one can want to hold on to it. But this is even status, position, no. Religion, can we change? Yes, of course. People do change religion. So it's also not something which is permanent. How about values? Can we change values? Yes, we can change values too. So talking about our identity, whatever we discussed, we can change all of them, right? So what is a bit more deeper, which is about our identity, which is permanent or in that direction? Can you think something further? Who are we a little bit more, if you look a bit more closer? Who are we? We can change all this. We can change our hobbies, our positions, our finance. So, then who are we? Any thoughts? Isn't it important to think? When we are running a life, we want to be happy. So isn't it important to know more about ourselves so that we can truly become happier or move in that direction? Because in this world, we are shown a rosy picture. If you do this, you'll be happier. If you get this, you'll be happier. You have this product, you get the latest version, then you'll be happier. These are the kind of things which are going on. Or if you apply this cream, you'll be happier. So then, who are we? So if you are living in a consumer society, then who is that real consumer? Who is actually going through all this? Who is actually going through all this? With the values, the position? Who is actually owning everything? Who is that person? Look at ourselves and then think of it. Deeply, what you can say. If I ask you, who are you? Are we just the cloth? I can change my cloth all the time. Are we just the cloth? No. But according to the fashion, I can have my cloth. But that we can change. Then, deeper than the cloth, who am I? Any clue? Yes?
Like a sum of experiences, because everything that's happening to you,
Hmm.
you can change how it affects you, but the fact that's happened to you.
Okay, so
So it's just a collection.
a collection of experience. Okay, at least we are going from external to now internal. It's a beautiful step forward. So here the step forward is step inward, right? And what is that inward? So the collection of experience. It's a good thing, because when you think about ourselves, we have a collection of experiences over our lifetime, at least. Some can be more present and some are not, right? Now, where these experiences are situated within us, who is actually experiencing where these experiences are situated? Simple question. In the mind, isn't it? Good. So we are, from here we are going a step deeper towards the mind, which is good. So mind, we do have collection of experiences, because mind is a repository of all experiences. Some are more impressionable, some are not, but they are residing in the mind. Yeah? Fair enough? Now, so, and this is changing all the time, right? The experiences are changing. Now, if I ask you one more question, who is actually experiencing? We have all these experiences, but who is actually experiencing? Can you think a step deeper? I'll give you a clue. Assume we can always go deeper. Say, for example, I'm seeing all of you because I am separate from you, right? We are not one in the sense that we are separate. I'm able to observe you, and I have the impressions, the experience of all of you at this point. Your physical presence I have in me as an experience, isn't it? Same with you. Now, we can always take a step back and look at our own mind. Can we? It's a thought experiment. You can see, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling curious? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling neutral? Are you feeling sad? Whatever experiences the mind is processing now, as a thought experiment, you can always take a step back and you can just neutrally look at your own mind and see, hey, this is the kind of experiences which you're going through. Can you do that? Yeah, everyone can do that. So if I'm asking you, how are you? Ideally, we are supposed to do is, we should take a stop take, how are my emotions? Am I feeling really good or no? And need to give an honest answer. But we don't do that. How are you going good, right? So this is the point, that we can always take a step back and we can look into what's going on in our own mind. So according to the yoga wisdom, this question is posed: who is actually witnessing the mind? So we are actually witnessing the mind. So the question arises, who are we? Who is observing? Who is actually seeing the mind? Who is somebody who is seeing this mind? So according to yoga wisdom, that we are referring to as the real self, who is even witnessing the mind, even the subtle activities, including the intelligence. Somebody who is watching. So that is the real self. Any idea who is that? Or at least the nature of the real self? Have you ever thought about it? Or are we just a lump of matter? Which is, of course, there are neurological stuff going on in our brain, and is that all about us, or have we got something deeper? What's your view?
The true, the real self
Yes.
being awareness.
Yeah, good. Beautiful. Awareness, which is even beneath the mind. It is giving awareness even to the mind. Good awareness. Any thoughts? Any thoughts?
Probably not. I fear
Because according to biology, everything in our body is changing, including our brain cells. So then the question arises, what is giving a fixed core identity to all individuals? Body is changing, we know that. Mind is changing. Our perceptions are changing, values are changing. Even though everything is changing, including the brain is changing. So, what is actually giving that core identity to an individual? I'm Gopa. I was Gopa even 20 years back, 30 years back. I know I'm the same experiencer. Of course, my beliefs, my experiences, my perceptions, my values have changing. But at the same time, as a core person, I'm still the same person. So what is giving that core identity? So it's actually a deeper question. And yes, one of the answers is the awareness. Have you heard this? Awareness. Consciousness. Heard the term consciousness? So that conscious self. And then the question arises, where is this consciousness coming from? What is producing consciousness? What is producing awareness? That would be interesting, isn't it? When you tell that, okay, yes, that awareness which is activating even the mind, the body, etc. We have that awareness. What is the source of consciousness? Any idea from biology?
No expert here.
Okay. But I'll tell you, there are 3 opinions among the experts regarding the consciousness. Number 1, it is originating from the brain. So it's a neurochemical reaction. As a result, there is this concept, there is this phenomenon of awareness, consciousness. Second, it is by some people, some scientists. At the same time, there is no proof to it, because nobody has proven where the consciousness is originating from, unknown. Second, do believe that it is beyond the brain. It is beyond any physical, chemical reactions. It is beyond biology, as we know. So that is the second opinion. Where the proof, as such, there is no concrete proof. And there is a third group of scientists. They do say that we don't know. So these are the 3 answers. 1, it is physical. Second, it is beyond physical. It is beyond matter. Third, a clear unknown. So that's where we are standing in terms of understanding of the self when we go deeper. Any comments? Any thoughts? Any questions so far? Do you want to hear a perspective from yoga wisdom? Okay. So, in terms of yoga wisdom, it's actually interesting. One time I showed a few videos where we can see that our experience is beyond the brain. Even people do not have any grey matter having intelligence, having consciousness, functioning normally. Also, there have been so many studies about out-of-body experiences, even very proper scientific studies, published papers, showing that the awareness can exist beyond the body. So, there are compelling evidences or empirical evidences which are helping us to go beyond the physical understanding of consciousness and awareness and the understanding of the self. So when it comes to yoga wisdom, it is nothing new. It was spoken and written and practiced for thousands of years. It teaches about 3 levels of our existence on a deeper level. One is very easy to perceive our existence as our physical body, physical existence. It is part of our existence. I'll just draw a circle showing this is just our physical existence. Having the body, having the senses, physical existence. So I can say it's a collection of senses if you think about it. The body as a collection of senses. And which we can see, which is very tangible, which we can see. When I see you, I see you. The whole body, I see you. So that's it. So this is one level of our existence. However, there is a level which is deeper. That is, you all pointed out, that is about the mind. Because it is not to do with the body, and we cannot really dissect and see our mind, but we know that we have a mind, we can experience. So this is a subtler aspect of our existence. In yoga terminology, it's called the subtle body. Because it is subtle. It has mind, intelligence, part of the subtle body. We are functioning, all our perceptions, everything is residing in the subtle body, which we carry. Even though the body is changing, we can have the same perceptions. Even after 20 years, body may be drastically changing, but the subtle body, if you want, we can maintain without a lot of changes. We can have the same views, for example. Certain aspects can change, but certain aspects may not change. So that is the subtle body. So this is pretty much the gross body, because it is gross and it is easily visible, it is very easily tangible. So two existence of ours. However, deeper than that, as I told you, the thought experiment where we can be a witness to our own mind, we can be a witness to our own emotions, we can be a witness to our own perceptions, etc. The inflow of sensory perceptions coming into the mind where it's being processed, we can be a witness to all of this. So that witness, according to the yoga wisdom, is called the real self. And that real self is beyond the gross and subtle aspect of the self. In other words, this self is the real witness of the activities. This self is actually witnessing the emotions which are going on in the subtle body, in the mind. And this self is emanating that which is known as consciousness, that which is known as the awareness. And as far as the awareness is there, then we do have experiences, and if there is no awareness, there is no experience. So it is flowing into both the subtle as well as the gross body. Of course, this model doesn't deny existence of brain or neurons. They do exist, but inward there is this flow of this subtle energy which is consciousness. That is making us aware. If I pinch, I feel. But if it is a tip of my hair, somebody is clipping, I don't feel it, because the awareness not spread there. So this is the model from the yoga wisdom, where there is a conscious observer, a conscious experiencer who is even beneath, beyond the subtle mind, intelligence, etc. Who is the real witness, which is providing us the consciousness, the awareness, etc. And with this understanding, when we talk about meditation, etc., it is a process to connect, process to understand, the process to reveal our own self. Because that self is changeless. Even though going through one lifetime or multiple lifetimes, that self remains as it is. So the external covering can be anything. This time it can be a the male body or a female body, whatever. And these are external dress, just like I have a t-shirt, I have a jumper, and this is my body. Similarly, the real self is just like the body and wearing different clothes. subtle body and the gross body. So the whole purpose of meditation and the ultimate aim of yoga is to connect to one's own real self. We call it spiritual, the reason being it is beyond gross as well as subtle matter. Matter means change. Spiritual means no change. Matter means it can give pain, painful experiences, that is part of the matter. Whether it is the gross or the subtle body. Physical pain we can have, emotional, mental pain we can have. That is the nature of matter. So it's changing and it can give pain. And there is no deeper wisdom with the body or the mind. They are more connected to this world. Whereas here, when you're talking about the self, it's a deeper wisdom. So if you talk about what is that, the real self, we are talking about something which is eternal, something which is blissful, something which is knowledgeable. That is the real self. So the actual process of meditation and yoga is to reveal, to uncover who we really are. It's not to bring anything from outside, rather to uncover who we really are. And that gives us a deeper sense of happiness and connection. And in that view, we can see connection to everyone, independent of whatever we discuss so far. It could be the occupation, it could be the gender, it could be the religion, it could be this or that. We have unlimited, changeable, temporary identities. Independent of that, we can see the connection on a deeper level, and that is on the level of the self. That is beyond matter. That's on the level of the spirit. So this is the essential understanding of yoga philosophy, and that's what we are actually trying to do. We had some yoga, now we'll have some meditation. So it's beyond the temporary stuff. Okay, any final thoughts, any questions? Yes.
Is there a deeper source for the self? Does the self go further down? Is there like an ocean of consciousness?
Oh, okay, good. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful question. What can we go beyond even the self? Beautiful. So then we call the whole, the complete whole. Different terminologies we can use, of course. People may use soul. People say self. Different terminologies use self. If you use self, you can use super self as that connecting point, the origin, or the complete whole. Or source, that connection. So that is the connection. So that's how we are all connected to that source. So in other words, the individual consciousness is we all have individual consciousness, and ultimately there is a source of consciousness, and we are all linked to that source. And soul, if you use the terminology soul, often the term used is super soul. Super soul. So it is showing the connection. So everyone is linked to that super soul. So there is harmony. Internally, if you see, there is a real harmony. Externally, there can be differences and problems, but internally, there can be harmony. Anything further? Yes.
You mentioned studies on out-of-body experiences
Yes.
earlier.
Definitely.
How does that relate to this conception of the self?
Okay, good question. I'll just give you an example. Which direction you want to go? You want to speak about previous births? You want to speak about just one life? Which examples do you want? I can go in either direction.
Just the one.
The one. Okay, good. So, for example, there has been this studies done on people who are having out-of-body experience. And what is that out-of-body experience? So these studies probably started in late 60s or 70s, where, okay, this is from an American doctor, He, of course, he's a normal, trained doctor. He had patients, he's a cardiologist, so cardiac arrest and then leading to operation, right? So he did operation of a cab driver, and the operation was successful. So he came back to consciousness, and he started describing what happened in the operation theater when he was clinically completely unconscious because of the open heart surgery going on. And he even started telling the details from an outside vantage point of view. He was seeing everything, and he was even overhearing the conversation which was taking place between the doctors and the nurses in the operation theater while he was completely unconscious. So this blew him out of it and started thinking, what's really going on here? Of course, he didn't believe it so much. But that actually started making him think, what is it? How is it possible that a person who is totally unconscious and there is no way that can be aware, but still, how is he coming up with this kind of memories which are accurate? And he even checked the records, it was accurate. And the other case came to him was of an American songwriter, Pam Reynolds. He did an operation for her, and in that operation again, she started talking about the conversation that took place, and a very interesting point she mentioned was, this is the conversation between the doctors while the operation was going on. Her arteries are too small. Her arteries are too small. And she told the same thing to the doctor. I also heard that my arteries are too small. That really shook him. How is it possible that a person, and this is, I don't know how big my arteries are. You will not know because that's not something we know. And she's a songwriter, and he's not at all into biology or anything of that sort. So that really sparked him. Then he decided, I'm going to study this. So that is, I would say, that is the beginning of studies of out-of-body experiences. And that developed into decades of studies by so many of them. And one of the most interesting one, I have the videos of that, but I didn't really bring it today. Maybe some other day. So this was by I forgot his name. Anyway, it's coming. And it is a doctor from UK and no, from US. He did study very objectively. That is, having objective markers where the operation is going on, and noting what can they remember after the operation, especially even when they are clinically dead. So he is actually a resuscitation doctor. So it's a cardiac arrest and heart is not functioning, and they cool down the brain so that the cells don't degenerate, and then they try to resuscitate, and that was his whole program. And during that time, the person is clinically dead in one sense because heart is not functioning, brain is degenerating. So that's the time. So of course they record the patient, and after everything start interviewing them. Do you remember anything? And he did the studies in different hospitals in US, in UK, in Austria, studied about 2,500 cases over a span of more than 10 years. So his conclusion about small percentage, but he studied about 2,500, a big number of cases, but about 2 or 3%, we are talking about 30 to 40 or 40 to 50 people had profound memories of what happened. They could accurately tell what had actually happened while they were clinically dead. So that is a strong record. So now the question arises, and some of them, they had some kind of mystical experiences, and some didn't have anything. They were completely out of it. They were blackout. Now here the question from, his name is Sam Parnia, Dr. Sam Parnia. He has many videos. So his question is, he's a mainstream doctor. His main question is, how can consciousness last when a person is not functioning? Heart is not functioning, brain is not functioning. How can such a person can have perception? That's the first question. What's the possibility of having perceptions when a person is clinically dead? How can he see? If the person is not there, the eyes are not functioning. So who is actually observing? Does that make sense? So how it is connected to? From a yoga perspective, the answer is, even though this gross body is dysfunctional, it's not functioning, the self is always active, and the subtle body to some degree can function even independent of the gross body. Same with the outer body experience. How can a person is lying, his eyes are not open, how can he see things? Okay, some we can say it can be imagination, but if there are such cases for many people and if they are accurate, then we need to think that we need to move away from a current biological, physical viewpoint. We need to adopt something which is a bit more open, which can account this kind of phenomenon. Does that make sense? So that's how it is related. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so there is no any final thoughts, questions? All good? I think we'll move on with the kirtan. So if we can do some kirtan, that will be good.